G'day guys, Pennywise here with another board review. Before we get into it, just want to mention a big shout out to Brandon Davis and Spencer Whiting hooking us up with a Keep It Clean sweatshirt. Those guys are great guys and great snowboarders, so go check it out. Check out their website and grab yourself one. Anyway, we're going to get into, speaking of great snowboarders, Academy Chad Otterstrom, Chad O. Graduate Series Pro Model. Chad Otterstrom, let's start with him. Great all-round snowboarder. Rips a pipe, rips a park, rips rails, like one of my heroes growing up. Definitely all-round rider. One of the old school where you just did it all because you loved it all. No specializing, just riding it because you're a snowboarder, and there's not enough of that in the world today. So big shout out, Chad. I was lucky enough to meet him as he was coaching and judging and things like that. It's awesome watching him drop into the half pipe at the contest that he's judging and still sending it every single day. So yeah, that's why he deserves a pro model, obviously. And if you don't know who Chad Otterstrom is, you better start Google searching because guy's a living legend. Check out his Instagram, still ripping to this day. Definitely deserve a bit of a pro model snowboard. So let's get into it. 158 is the board I was riding. Oh, well, one more thing. Big shout out to P3, local snowboard shop, Ray, hooking it up, let me test this board out. Thanks, Ray. 158, probably a little small for me. I'm 6 foot tall, 210. A little bit small. I would have went up a size for sure. But for this board, it's a camber board. It's medium flex. I would call it medium to stiff flex. Most people would call it stiff, but I like a bit of stiffness, and I'm a pretty big guy. So not as snappy as I would have thought for the stiffness of it. It more has that sort of more damp feel. It's a little, not as snappy. It's just more of a mellow kind of pop, mellow kind of snap. As you're making turns or doing ollies, that kind of thing. Very reminiscent of a Never Summer snowboard, and that's probably why. That's probably because it's made in a Never Summer factory. So I used to ride Never Summers back in the day, and their Premiere and boards like that had this like dampness to them that really helped them go through the chop. Help them plow through bumpy, crappy terrain, and I get the same feeling from this board here. It doesn't bounce and skip and do all that when you're going through the chunder after a power day, or old snow that's been sitting there for a while, bunch of tracks in it. You can definitely trust this board and trust the edge and trust that it'll plow through it, which is very reminiscent of a Never Summer snowboard. So with that comes a bit of weight. This board, I wouldn't call it the lightest 158 that I've ever ridden, but I wouldn't call it the heaviest either. It's a camber board, no mess, no fuss there, as you can see. Not super cambered, just enough to get you going. Construction-wise and side cut-wise, look, ended into a turn nice, came out of a turn nice, nothing really snappy out of it. You can look on their website, get all the specs on their side cut radiuses and things like that. But it has very gradual enter and a pretty gradual exit as well, which I feel like is a part to do with the design, so that it does ride switch quite well and it doesn't feel so directional. Riding a regular or switch, it kind of feels the same. And again, like I said, I don't go and check out the specs. I'm just giving you the down and dirty of how it rides under my feet. So you can go check it out, and people can comment and tell me that I'm wrong or right, but this thing feels like it rides almost the same both directions. So that is really useful in the park. I rode this in the park, I rode it in power, I rode it in chop, I rode it on the grimmers, I hit some boxes, not much of a rail rider these days. Hit some boxes just to feel the flex, press as well. Again, stiffer for some mightn't like it. But I done everything. I rode in the pipe, rode well in the pipe, This is just a good all-around snowboard, and I think that's the whole point behind this board, is this is the one board that you can ride absolutely everything with. Just like Chad O, that guy rides everything all the time, so he wants a board that'll go regular and switch. He wants a board that'll hit the park, do all that kind of stuff. So I think all in all, a great board. When it comes to the base, as you can see, kind of beat it up a little bit, hit some rocks, tagged some stuff. Very strong base, held up well. I wouldn't say it's the fastest base I've ever ridden, if I'm honest, but definitely a good base. Sintered for sure. Holds wax reasonably well. We've had some aggressive snow here in Mammoth, just sort of lack of snow and melt freeze. You know, the snow we have right now, before our last little storm, would definitely make a board edge high pretty quick. This board never did that, but I did have to wax it sort of every 2 to 3 days, depending on how many laps I was getting in on this thing. Holds wax reasonably well. I think you notice it a little bit more when you got a black or a black or blue or colored base. But all in all, I thought it was a good board. I thought it was a good base. Strong, definitely. Again, that's kind of that Never Summer thing. Those boards were kind of bomber. And I think Academy has done it right on this one too. I think this is a board that will last you a couple of seasons for sure. I think it'll hold its flex quite well. I definitely beat this board up, and it took it. And you know, tagged some hectic ride, tagged some heavy rocks, and as you can see, just not even really deep scratches or anything. Most boards, a lot of boards would be torn up with that, but again, good construction from these guys. Again, I was given ratings before for boards. You know, it's kind of tough. This one, I'd sort of give it a 7 out of 10. It is a good board. Just kind of not really, like, I like something a little bit snappier than this one will give you. But, you know, if you want one board that'll do it all, this is the board for you. You'll buy one board and you can ride everything. I like to have somewhat of a quiver these days. You know, as I saw before, I've got a little bank slalom board I like to ride. I got a power board. Got a bigger board for going fast, and then a little short board for jibbing around and that kind of stuff. But no, all in all, Academy, good board. Chad, you did it right, mate. You made a great board. That's it for me. If you got any comments, throw them in the comment box. Definitely love to hear from you guys about what you want to know about. Got a lot of knowledge to share. Just need to know what you guys want to hear. If you got any products that you'd like to shoot my way for a test, let me know. Other than that, thanks guys. Have a great time. Pennywise out.